Welcome to the Future Hospitality Summit podcast. For more information, visit www.futurehospitalitysummit.com.
Hello, welcome everybody to another Future Hospitality Series Summit podcast, the podcast that will give you an insight into the Middle East hospitality investment industry. I'm Matthew Weihs, I'm the Managing Director of The Bench, and I'm here today with Martin Berlin, Global Deals Real Estate Leader for PwC. Welcome, Martin.
Thank you, Matthew, and pleasure to be here.
It's lovely to see you. And first off, I'm obviously massively intrigued by the job title, which obviously suggests that you look at just wider than just the hospitality industry. Tell us more about that, the scope of the work that you're doing, and obviously how much hospitality plays a part of that in your day-to-day.
Absolutely. I'm leading actually the real estate, hospitality, and leisure practice for PwC Deals here in the region. The region includes the GCC and all English-speaking surrounding countries. And why have we put these asset classes together is actually because we see a lot of mixed-use developments where you see a mall, office, a hotel associated with the mall, you have retail in the mall, you have leisure and entertainment in the mall. So we see a lot of like these large-scale mixed-use developments. That's why we have put all the asset classes together, opposite to other territories where these sits more separate and more fragmented rather than integrated as we see them here. And that's basically the reason why we have put all these asset classes together in one functional group.
And have you seen, I suppose the term is hotelization of asset classes now coming into play, especially around the deal structures?
We have seen some of this. Actually, if I look into hospitality, what we expected in the region in particular, after COVID or during COVID even starting, was a large amount of deals coming up because of the difficult situation that the entire hotel industry went through. Surprisingly, most of the owners hold on to their asset. There was not the expected transaction amount in the hotel business, in the hotel assets. And secondly, the Middle East has managed the COVID situation quite well with a speedy recovery of the hotel industry, which we saw flourishing through the events like Expo, and gonna see flourishing through an event like the World Cup, where a lot of the hotel inventory was quickly occupied and had led to a speedy recovery of the industry.
Obviously, COVID did speed up a change of working practices, the whole sort of working from home, working from different spots, and it has influenced a number of hospitality alternative asset classes. Do you think this is a permanent change, or do you sort of see it as a going back to where we were before? Or what's your sort of long-term view on this?
I think the jury on the response to that question is still out. They have a lot of hotels flex the usage of their inventory, provided rooms as offices, as remote offices, and played around with their inventory and their respective use. They were forced to test this through COVID. COVID has basically imposed this kind of thinking on them. I think that has led to some more flexibility in thinking of how to deal with a room inventory that hotel has. A lot of the hotels have gone back to the original traditional business model, but I think the thinking is there, and there is certainly a door open to a more flex usage of the inventory of hotels.
So coming on to the region itself, Where do you see the opportunities now for hospitality assets, especially in the region?
If I start with the GCC, certainly the country that actually with 20% of the GDP dominates the region here is Saudi Arabia, and there's a lot of development going on there in the respective projects, be it Red Sea, Amala, Neom, DGDA, RCU, Alula. So there's a lot going on in reference to the development of hospitality assets. Saudi has a room inventory of 150,000 hotel rooms, the same as Dubai as a city. So there's a lot of opportunity there. Having said that, there are, and focusing on the region as being exposed to the region in terms of my business, I wouldn't neglect the other locations. Egypt, for example, big developments there as well. Be it at the North Coast, which is now being developed as well, be it at the Red Sea, and Dubai continues despite the accusation of being oversupplied. Yeah. It continues to supply more assets to the current portfolio.
And what do you think perhaps is the biggest challenge that the market faces currently, and how best could organizations adapt?
Challenge is certainly the restrictions that COVID has put on several levels. One, on travel. We are not at the level of air travel that we have seen before. There's a lot to basically to recover in the airline, in the air traffic industry, to come to the tourist numbers that we saw before. So that's one challenge, to get the alignment with the airlines right and bring them back to the capacities that they had before COVID. Second one is obviously also operationally, because COVID has changed the operations within a hotel, distancing, other restaurant setups. All these, I think, are challenges that have been partially, but need to be on a continuous, ongoing, sustainable basis being mastered by the hotel industry.
Moving on to the Future Hospitality Summit, you're doing a couple of moderating positions during the agenda, and I'll pick on both of them, but one at a time. You talk about obviously Dubai continuing to sort of push through even with this sort of overview that perhaps, supply, there's a lot of supply, but they keep creating new opportunities through the expo last year, et cetera, to delivering on that. You're going to be discussing the World Cup with the Qatar tourism group. What's the one thing that you'd like to unearth during that piece in regards to the future of the hospitality industry there in Qatar?
One is certainly how will Qatar cope with the influx of visitors during the World Cup? How will they make sure that the mass audience that a football game needs is enabled to come and make it affordable to go on a trip to Doha to watch whatever team they support? We have seen a lot of price increases. We have seen entire capacity of the hotel business in Doha being taken away by either sponsors, by the FIFA, and so on. So it remains to be seen if there's enough capacity to also entertain the fans, because a World Cup without the fans is not a World Cup from my perspective, having visited several World Cups myself. So that's one. Certainly the other challenge will be, from my perspective, a logistical challenge from the aspect to bring all the fans in, to bring in all the visitors in, and have the respective logistics organized. It's obviously a lot easier than other countries that we saw before. We have in a very, very small radius, all the stadia are all there, which is fantastic, which I think is one of the unique propositions that Doha is bringing to the World Cup, to have this event in a very condensed, small location in terms of the radius. It's not a 6-hour flight for someone to go from one game of the team to the other one.
Right.
It's a 30 minutes walk in some cases.
Wow. So, I look forward to that. And the second session is with the operators, and you're going to be asking, about the Middle East development pipeline and opportunities, and you're going to be talking about what's hot. So, how do you, without mentioning the word Saudi, what other things are you looking to discuss?
Yeah, that's a good question, and actually, there's several dimensions that I plan to look into during this particular panel. One is certainly the territory angle that we have discussed previously. Secondly is also the product angle. So what is the right product? The hospitality industry is not just a hotel. It has different products, and the breadth of products that the hotel industry, the hospitality industry brings to the market is much more than just one particular hotel room. And then the third one is also, let's say, the positioning of it. Is it wellness? Is it adventure? Is it experiential? Is it mountain? What kind of positioning that particular product has in the market? So there are several dimensions, and there are certain points in each of these dimensions that are very, very hot. So it's not all about one territory.
Good to hear it. Right. Well, Martin, thanks for joining us today. I really look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks in Dubai. For those of you who haven't booked your tickets, do it now before they all run out. But Martin, thanks again for coming, and really enjoyed our chat today.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Future Hospitality Summit podcast. For more information, visit www.futurehospitalitysummit.com.